Okay, hey everybody, this is Grace, and this is another one of my little recordings of these series that I've been writing. It's plural, and over years, some of it's published, some of it has yet to be. And they're rough drafts, highlights. Some of them are actually the stories. Parts of the stories are all copyrighted to me, so you can read the disclaimer in the description box below this video on YouTube. And this one is, I'm going to continue on about Jane. Now, Jane is a 62-year-old woman, and I have previous videos. I don't want to go through all that again. But she just basically ran across some people she hadn't seen in 25 years. They were at a restaurant, basically having a meeting, and it was a bunch of people, and they were original group members of basically computer geeks, and she hadn't seen them in 25 years, and it was so great and so wonderful. It was on one of her days off, and so that's, you can go back and watch one of those. Now, I'm going to continue more about the information about her. Now, she was told that. Well, let me get started. Okay. Once Jane's background check, while she was there at the restaurant, Jim, the owner of the enforcement, called his adult daughter and Krista and asked her to run a background check on Jane, and everything was clear. And so then Jane, after it cleared, Jim went back to the group, and they all started talking to her about what has happened since, besides like their family and friends and children and stuff like that. They started talking to her about what happened with the group. They became very wealthy. They pay membership fees. They do work for one another, assignments they call them, and so much involved. But it's very wealthy, and they have a lot of protection because of the jobs, the type of work they do. There are some people called the outcast, ones they had basically kicked out of their group because they wanted to run everything and so forth, and they were just not good people. And there's a fear that something's going on, that they're trying to do something. They don't really know what yet. Anyway, so they told her, about the, what's now called by their children the original group members, okay, and what they're doing, all the things that they do, and how they got so much money, and how they get dividend checks. They told her everything, and they asked her, that they were very, they disclosed the information. It's a need to know thing, and they all know it, and they told her that. But overall, they're decent. They are good, decent people. Okay. And they asked her if she would like to join, and told her, a little bit about the benefits, and then they gave her a contract. They said that everybody signs a contract, and also, she doesn't have to do it. She can say no, thank you, whatever. But they gave her, basically the contract, and when she read over the contract, when she found the time, not then and there, when she got home and she read it over, and back to the cabins that she runs for her sister and brother-in-law. Her sister-in-law and her brother-in-law, they were her husbands, her late husband's family. Anyway, she read over this contract, and she was just totally shocked at all that, all that she had to gain by being one of the members. And now she was one of the members way back over 25 years ago, but they hadn't had this system back then. It was the whole thing came about afterwards, and they do like to invite people back that who were originals. Okay, now one of the things that was really shocking to her was that because she would be a member, she would be, she was fully vetted, okay, but once she became a member, if she signed this contract and became one, started paying her dues and started working on assignments, if they came up, when they came up, there was already one that come up that they wanted to get her to help on. But after that, she would finally be able to buy a home within the rest of Victorson County, Texas. Okay, the rest of the area is very wealthy, but where she grew up, It's called the town called the Outlaws, and that's where a lot of the outlaws and the outcasts live. Not everybody's bad, of course, but where there it's not. It just isn't wealthy, and it's kind of dangerous overall in certain parts. Not all bad, of course. But when she found out she could actually, because you have to either be a member or a descendant or both to buy it in the rest of the county, which is very wealthy, and they basically inherit from the original descendants and so forth. Well, she was just shocked. I mean, because that's one of her dreams, and now she would have to pay the dues, like I said, and she would have to, she would start getting small dividend checks, but they would increase with the more that she helped contribute to what was going on. And over time, she was a 62-year-old woman, close to retirement, but she also wanted a home, and within the rest, a good, decent home. Okay, and they give jobs that are age appropriate. Okay, now she would be asked to work for them, but they would, this is paid. Any assignment is paid, and for whatever she did, and it wouldn't be really bad stuff or anything. And she could turn down anything with no problem. She, nobody was the boss. And they really told her a lot about all that was going on. And they had already told her. And she was just kind of, needed a moment to think and process. And then she read the contract, and she didn't need to process much anymore at all. Okay, so she decided to sign the contract and pay the dues. Boom. Done. Okay. Now, as I mentioned in the video about this before, one directly before this one, her first assignment that she was given was to find accommodations for other members who were being brought back into Victorson County due to all the troubles. Like the original members, they're worried that people are going to try to start kidnapping them. These outcasts. They're putting it out there, the outcasts, and some of them are outlaws that live there. They're putting it out in a way like very just suspicious. They don't even have anything that seems like organized, but there's just this hint of a threat there. So they're not taking the original group members aren't taking any chance. Jim's in the enforcement, not taking any chances. The sheriff's department, the police, they all know about it. So, but because of what else was going on, that starts back in early 2020, they wanted all of them back in, like I had said in that video. Now, the video before this one, on this topic. And, well, she was, to organize it all and all this stuff. And, let's see. And so, of course, the cabins that she runs was to be her main focus anyway. But since they gave her this assignment, she'd get paid for it. So she was making money by running the cabins. She was making money working for the enforcement, doing the same job that she would already be doing. But it would be, the focus would not to be to have people, that just were coming there from other states or whatever, or other outside of the county or whatever. As it is, the county was going on lockdown, the whole county. But would be to focus on original group members and their descendants coming back into the county. So, and she would have lots of security. They would have people from the enforcement that are like in training, and some people that were teaching them. They would have a lot of security, and that's how they were working it during all this time. And she would organize the things like to have their food, laundry, but she also would have help. And one of them was that she would hire this young woman that already had her own delivery service. That's Tabitha, and they would organize all the work to help together. And there was another woman, Alicia, was there to be their guide, to guide the original group members and their descendants around the town, where they need to go, what they need to do, if they didn't already know. And they also gave Jane her own 2.0 crew. That's what the original group members, their children, or adults now, they call themselves the 2.0, and then their children call themselves the iGen. Okay, they're very original. But the 2.0s were the ones that gave their parents the name. The parents didn't have a name; they were just members. Okay, a whole, very wealthy, as they had helped one another through all the years to have businesses and investments and all that. So, anyway, now this video is just about that Jane decided that she would go ahead and accept it, and to be able to move on from there. She would get back in with them, and she would go to their meetings and stuff like that, and learn all that she could. And she would even be sent to, do some training for like self-defense kind of training, age appropriate, and all these, whatever it is that she wanted to do, that they would help. And she was just amazed, how her life had gone from losing her husband to having a job, having to sell her house and all that, and now can be more independent. Okay, wrapping this up. This one, stay tuned for more. I'll talk to you on another video. Bye.